Today I'm going to talk about the band Bang Tango and their debut album, Café. The album was released on May 29, 1989, and it is celebrating 35 years. I will be doing the history of the band as well as talking about the songs and music of their first album, Café. Here's the CD. I will be showing close-up shots of the booklet throughout the video. In 1988, guitarist Mark Knight and bassist Kyle decided to start a band. They wanted the band to have two guitar players, so they recruited Kyle Stevens. Now they just needed a frontman, so they found Joe Lesté. He was recommended by Amir Derak from Rough Cut. Completing the lineup was Joe Lesté's childhood friend, Tig Kettler, who became the drummer, and Bang Tango was born. With their lineup set, Bang Tango began to play on the Sunset Strip in Hollywood. Their energetic live show gained them a following. They played popular clubs and venues. They were so popular on the scene that major labels started a bidding war, and they landed a deal with MCA Records. In early 1989, Bang Tango released their first EP, Live Injection, and then their debut album, Café, produced by Howard Benson. The album did pretty well, peaking at number 58 on the Billboard Top 200 chart. Their single, Someone Like You, became a staple on Headbangers Ball, which, by the way, was where I discovered them. I remember that I went out and bought the CD because of the song, Someone Like You. The band toured extensively, and they opened for some big bands such as Cheap Trick, LA Guns, Rat, and the Bullet Boys. Let's take a look at the CD and talk about the album. Attack of Life was the opening track. The song was kind of funky. I liked the bass guitar intro. It had a sound that mixed the glam metal sounds of that time with some funk rock. The bass guitar sounds very good in the second part of the song. Then it was Someone Like You. This was the first single. I remember the music video. It was played often on MTV. I thought the vocals were very good because he uses both the low and the high register. The song is also very catchy. The bass guitar also plays a big role in the song. They added some keyboards to add a different layer of sound, and the guitar solo was very melodic. Wrap My Wings was more of a sleaze rock song. I recently did a video on the band Dangerous Toys, and this song reminded me of that style. They also had a jazzy element to the song, and they had some piano playing in the background. A lot of these songs had really cool bass guitar intros. That was apparent on the song Breaking Up a Heart of Stone. I think it was the second single, if I remember correctly. I thought it was a very good hard rocker that was very catchy, and keyboards sound pretty cool, and they added a different element to the band. Shotgun Man was another song that had a funky sound mixed with hard rock. I like the bass playing on this song. It's very funky. The guitar playing was also very good. It was also very melodic. Don't Stop Now was a cool song, had a kind of rhythm that you could stomp your feet to. The chorus was kind of funny. It sounded like something dirty. I won't repeat it, but it was something that could be left to the imagination. Then there's a song, Love Injection. The song title sounds like something Kiss would write. It's a cool song because it's a very funky song. It's a fun song, and the guitar and bass playing is very good. Then there was the ballad. It's called Just For You. It's a soft acoustic ballad. I've always liked the song. I was a big fan of ballads done by hard rock bands back then. But what's interesting was that this was an all acoustic song. It didn't have any of the heavy parts like a typical power ballad. For that reason, I like it a lot. Then there was the penultimate song called Do What You're Told, which is a very funky song. It had elements of hard rock and metal. I like this one. It was very upbeat and energetic. There's a cool interlude with heavy bass guitar sound. The last song is called Sweet Little Razor. This was some typical hard rock from that time period. It had a very upbeat sound and some awesome guitar riffs. It had one of those stop-start rhythms, and the bass playing was really cool on this one. Despite the success of Café, their follow-up album, Dancing on Coals, was released in 1981 and produced by John Jensen. It wasn't as successful. I also went out and bought the CD, but to be honest, I never liked this album as much as the debut. Although it peaked at number 13 on Billboard Top 200, failed to match the debut success.
Anyway, it's Joe Lesté and Tig Kettler of the band Bang Tango. How you doing, guys?
Great. Good.
Now, you've got your new record out called Dancing on Coals, and in my opinion, the last record was pretty much a good straight-ahead rock and roll record, but this one, it shows a lot of different styles, and you guys have got a lot of different influences.
But the band moved forward and released another live EP, Ain't No Jive Live, in 1992. By 1993, Bang Tango started to face some challenges. MCA Records still honored their contract for a third album despite not seeing returns. They reunited with producer Howard Benson and recorded Love After Death. Unfortunately, the album was shelved by MCA due to financial concerns. Guitarist Cal Stevens decided to part ways with the bands after the recording was complete. Although Love After Death was released in UK and Japan, it is never really officially released in the US, although some songs from it are still played live. To be honest, I'd never heard of this album until I started to research this video. It's not available on streaming as far as I know. The original lineup of Bang Tango disbanded in 1995 after a European tour, but then Joe Lesté and Kyle reformed the band the following year. They had many musicians come and go. They also experimented with a side project, Eating Crow, in 1997, though it saw limited activity and no official releases. Bang Tango continued to release music, including a live album in 1998 called Greatest Tricks, a compilation of re-recorded hits in 19... Then Joe Lesté and Kyle made a new version of their band, and that went on until 1999, after which Joe Lesté wanted to focus the band Beautiful Creatures, signing with the Warner Brothers in 2001. In 2002, Joe Lesté revived Bang Tango, and he was now the only original member. This version of the band released Ready to Go, followed by a 2006 reunion show featuring all two original members. They released 2 more albums, From the Hip in 2006 and Pistol Whipped in the Bible Belt in 2011. The original lineup, without Joe Lesté, briefly reunited as Bang Tango Redux in 2010 with a different vocalist. In 2014, former Dio guitarist Rowan Robertson joined the band, and by 2015, Drew Fortier, director of Attack of Life, the Bang Tango movie, had become their second guitarist. The band hinted at new material in the works. In November 2019, the original Bang Tango lineup, Joe Lesté, Mark Knight, Kyle Stevens, and Tig Kettler, announced a reunion tour set for 2020, but the pandemic hit and their plans were ruined. Beyond Bang Tango, Mark Knight pursued solo projects with Mark Knight and the Unsung Heroes, featuring former bandmates Tig Kettler and Kyle Stevens. Kyle also ventured into new musical territory with Mona Lisa Overdrive. Despite the ups and downs, Bang Tango will always be remembered. I've always liked the band. I've even introduced them to some of my fellow YouTubers when I nominated this album for an episode of Live Listen Erased. I'll put a link to that video in the description. That is all. Check out this video right here where I talk about this band and other CDs I have from that time period. Thanks for watching. Please like this video. It helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Please subscribe if you have not already. I do rock and metal reviews, rankings, and more. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.